If you want to get more opens, clicks, and sales from your email marketing, it doesn't matter whether you're brand spanking new to it or you're super experienced. Here's some best practices that you can use right now to get you some amazing results from your email marketing. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Look, we know email marketing is the best source of sales for businesses who are doing it well, especially if you're in the education space, if you're a coach or a course creator, if you sell your education through expertise, maybe you do done-for-you service, something like that. If you're doing it well, then email marketing should be the best source of sales in your entire business. It is for everyone who's doing it well. But how do you actually do it well? That's the question. So I've got a whole bunch of best practices for you today. And by the way, if you are brand new to the channel, hello, I'm so excited that you're here and you found this video. If you'd like more videos like this to show up in your feed to get the most out of your email marketing, really start bagging more profits from your email marketing and have it working the way it should be, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the little bell and hit like on the video. And that just means that it tells YouTube, hey, I want more videos like this, and you'll not miss out on the future videos. So that'll be awesome. So do hit the subscribe button. So let's get into this content, because how do you actually do this well? Well, the first thing you really need to do is actually send more emails. Now, hang on. What do I mean by that? Well, frequency is one of the biggest things that plays a part in whether you get good at email marketing or not. For a start, anything you do more often, you get better at, right? So anybody who is training for a marathon, a bunch of my friends just did a marathon race, one of those running things, right? I don't know nothing about them, obviously, right? I know all about, cakes and pies and stuff like that. But they were all running these. But they get better at marathons if they train for them. They get better at their sport if they train for them, right? So you're going to get better faster if you send more often. Because every time you do it, you're going to kind of fall into the groove. You're going to have days where you're like, oh my God, that sucked. We all have those days, right? Also, when you send more often, more people are actually going to see your emails, right? Yes, you might on one email. We see this all the time. Somebody sends one email and they might get a 30, 40, 50% open rate on that email. But if they emailed 3 or 4 or 5 or more times a week, they will find that 85% or more of their email list actually opens an email within a week's period, right? Which is basically like having an 85% open rate. When 85% of your audience are reading an email from you every single week, that means you are impacting and connecting with more of your audience, 85% of your audience, which is amazing. So more people will actually see your emails because no one's opening all of your emails, okay? And the third reason that frequency is really important is when you show up often, you're deepening the relationship with people, right? Imagine you went on a date and it goes lovely, they laugh at your jokes, you laugh at their jokes, you have a little flick of your hair, and you maybe have a little kiss at the end of the date, and then they don't reply to you for a week. You get ghosted. That's what you would feel. That's what it's like. If you hear bouncing back and forth with somebody more often, then the relationship goes deeper, faster, and it actually builds up momentum rather than running out of momentum. The big reason that most people suffer with their email marketing is because their audience has lost momentum with their messaging. They no longer have the excitement of that they did have when they first joined your email list. So a great way around that is to increase the frequency. Now, before I get on to the second best practice, I want you to know I've just put together a brand new mini course of exactly how I use some really simple psychology to take the sales of one of my offers from $27,000 to over $500,000. Same offer to the same audience, from 27 grand to over $500,000, right? You can access the whole thing right now for free as a viewer of the channel just by going to the link that's in the description or clicking the QR code that's on your screen right now. So your second best practice that I've got for you today, and I think, how many have I got? I've got 6 I've put together for you. So the second one is to tell people early in their relationship with you what you have for sale and what they can buy, right? Don't hold back on people, right? In your first few emails, when someone first joins your email list, let them know what they can buy from you so that they've always got the link to hand to be able to get the best help from you. Because I'm assuming the best help somebody can get from you is from enrolling in your coaching program, grabbing your services, buying your program or your course, or joining your membership, right? So let them know that early on so they know what you've got available, so that if they're at that moment shopping around for a paid solution, it's you they go go with, and they don't go and hand your money to somebody else, because that would suck, right? And secondly, you want to do it early in that relationship because that's when you've got most of their attention. When someone first joins your email list, they're going to be opening every single email from you for the very first few days. You're probably the same when you join someone's email list. You join their email list, you open all their emails the first few days, and then after a few days, you start opening every few emails, then it's every less emails, and that's why you end up with sort of 20 to 40% open rates on your emails, right? So tell them about your solution, your paid offers early in that relationship, so they've got the link handy, and the most people actually know about your offers, rather than they join your email list and they actually don't get the chance to see what your offers are, and they never can buy from you. Hint number 3, what year is it? Hint, what's wrong with me? Number 3 is to persist with your offer for longer. Look, everyone's attention is being pulled in more directions than ever. Like, why do I pay for 5 different TV subscription services? Why? Well, it's because all of these companies are pulling our attention in all these different ways, and they're all really, really good at it. They've spent a lot of money researching how to control our attention and pull it onto Facebook, onto Netflix, onto all these different services. So that means when you're emailing people, they are also surrounded by so much noise that your emails, if you just send out one, it's like a little droplet of rain that doesn't really make an impact. You're like, oh, did I even feel rain? Was that rain? Was that rain? I don't know. And then you carry on with your day. What you want is you want it to pour. You want it to be one drop followed by another drop followed by another drop, so that it's unmistakable that it is raining. And that's what you need to do to stand out while there's so many things they could be doing. There's so many ads they're seeing in their feeds on every platform. There's all the stuff they're seeing on TV. There's all the stuff they're seeing in their life. In order to stand out, you need to talk about your offer for longer. Showing up for a few days and saying, hey, this is what I sell. This is what we can do for you. These are my solutions that I can help you with. It's just no longer cutting it. I'll tell you a quick story. We did this launch, and it was like a 14-day launch, right, of one of our offers. And after the 14-day launch, I sent out a survey to everybody who didn't buy, who was on the wait list, and I said, I'm just curious, why didn't you buy? The number one reason, bear in mind, I'd been sending 1 to 2 emails every single day, so I had my frequency sorted out, right? 1 or 2 emails every single day for 14 or more days, and I said, hey, why haven't you enrolled? I think it'll really help you. What's the reason? The number one reason people chose in that survey was, I don't know what it is, because they just missed it. How many people do you see when you post something out about your new product launch, your new offer, your new service, and people go, oh, I didn't know you'd done that? Because people's attention all over the place. So we need to persist with the same offer for longer. Extend your launches. Extend how long you continue talking about your offer. And that means you do have to think about new ways of presenting your offer so that people who are paying attention don't get bored and therefore disengage. So think about new ways of presenting your offer and wrapping it up. Number 4, remember people read on mobile. Really, really important. For goodness sake, please don't be thinking that when people get your emails, they're like sitting down at their computer and they're turning it on and they're opening up the whole web browser. They're not doing that. Most people are reading their emails from their mobile device while they are in the line at the shop, they're in the bathroom, they're just on the go. So we have to start thinking about the way we present our email content so that it is really snappy, almost like it's another app on someone's phone, which it is, of course, right? So think about it as how you would write the snappy kind of short sentences, really short paragraphs that you would see on social, and that makes it super consumable when someone's scrolling through on their phone screen. So that means I'm talking about short sentences of just a few words, and I'm talking about paragraphs that are 1, 2, maybe 3 paragraphs long, and giving people extra space on the screen. Really important now more than ever. This one is a really powerful one, that is to write how you speak. Look, writing marketing emails in your brand voice is not the time to be making your high school English teacher happy, right? What we want to do instead is we want to write the words to people in a way that we talk, how you speak. And the reason we want to do that is because when people read the words on anything, they read a book, you read an email, you read anything, Kindle, whatever, when you read, you do a thing called subvocalization. That is, you hear the words in your head. That's what we do, right? That's how reading works for most people. Not everybody, but like the vast majority. majority of people. Most people have to train themselves out of doing that if you want to not do that. So if that's the case, as people are hearing your words in their head, just write how you speak. It also means you don't have to worry about grammar, punctuation. I mean, heck, I put out emails all the time, which has got typos in them, because I want to get them out there, and it makes them really, really real, especially in a world where there's lots of artificial intelligence, GPTs and stuff. They tend not to make typos and grammar mistakes. So if you're really writing your emails, that's a great place to do it. And a great way of actually writing how you speak is to tell stories. Tell stories in your emails that teach lessons about the stuff that you help people out. So I'll give you an example in my market where I help coaches, experts, course creators, membership site owners, and service providers to make more sales through your email marketing. That's my industry. That's what I do, and that's what I love doing. So that's my industry, and I'm going to tell a story about the time just a few weeks ago, I had awful food poisoning, only for the second time in my entire 41 years of life. And I was up in the middle of the night. I was throwing up so hard that I felt like I was being turned inside out. It was really violent and really horrible. And what that meant is my sleeping pattern was completely thrown out, all because of something dodgy on the top of a new pizza, on a pizza from this new pizza joint. All because of that. And what that meant is for the next 4 days, my entire sleep schedule was completely out of whack. I was up in the middle of the night. I was snoozing in the morning. I was snoozing in the afternoon. And it meant that I found myself scrolling through my phone in the middle of the night and buying stuff. I was becoming a customer, a buyer right in the middle of the night. And here's the thing. That means you don't know. There's things like this are happening all the time. People are up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, because of stress, because of illness, because of family, because of their job, because of whatever's going on. People are up in the middle of the night. So we don't know when your audience is actually going to be online and they're wanting to buy, right? So what we have to do is we have to have automated emails that send people things that they could buy even when you aren't around. And if you do that, you're always going to make more sales. So what have I done in that story? Well, I've shared my personality. I've shared a personal piece of my life about this lovely new pizza joint I went to. I was very hopeful, tried the pizza, got food poisoning, and that's a relatable thing of like, oh gosh, you lean into that and you realize that I'm a human being, which is awesome. I'm not some robot or AI thing, despite the hair, right? And so then I related to something that actually teaches a lesson, right? And by doing that, I get to show my personality. You get to do the same thing. So take stories of things that are happening or have happened to you, or hopes and desires and dreams you've got of things you want to have happen to you, and weave them into your emails, and that allows you to show your personality and write how you talk. Final one is make sure you always have some kind of action that someone can take in your emails, but not for the reason you might be thinking. Yes, okay, if you have a call to action, as they call it in marketing, if you have a call to action in your emails, which is go and buy my thing or enroll in my program or apply for my course, then yes, you'll make sales. That's very important. Of course, it's email marketing. We've got businesses, and the point of email marketing is to make sales. But of course, you need to have other types of call to action in your emails as well. So sometimes, yes, you'll be sending a call to action, a link or a button in your email, which is go and pay me for something. But sometimes it'll be go check out this free resource, or go watch my new YouTube video, or register for this webinar, or go check out this other person's product or service that I recommend. The reasons you want to do that, apart from the fact you'll be making sales, which of course you want to do, and that's really important, there's two other reasons. One is you want to make sure you're training your audience to click the links in your emails. We are all creatures of habit, and we are all trained just like dogs are, just like cats. Well, I'm trying to train my cats. I'm not very successful so far, but they usually ignore me because they're ignorant. But we're just animals. We're all animals who are trained and creatures of habit and behavior. So when we start our relationship with people, and we have our relationship with people in our emails, we want them to realize there's going to be links in our emails. And when you click the links in our emails, you're going to see something on the other side of that click that's going to make you feel good. Now, of course, they don't remember that on a conscious level, but subconsciously, when they see a link in one of your emails, they're going to feel inclined like they want to click that link. Why? Because their subconscious is stashed away in the deepest, darkest parts of it that last time I clicked a link in one of your emails, I felt good. Of course, that means don't send people to garbage, don't send people to dodgy things. I'm hoping you wouldn't do that. And finally, the most important reason of this, arguably anyway, is that when people click the links in your emails, whether it's to a paid thing or a free thing, that is sending a really good signal to Gmail and Yahoo and Microsoft that your emails are good. And that actually helps with your email deliverability and get your emails delivered and seen by more people. So there's your 6 things. I hope you found them useful. I'm curious, which one of these did you find most valuable? Let me know in the comments below, and I might do a deep dive video on some really practical techniques to help you take that one to the next level. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe on this YouTube channel so I can make sure that more videos like this pop up in your newsfeed. And if you want more about how to sell more with your emails, grow your digital business online, make sure you check out this video. I think you'll find it really useful. I'll see you next time.